Could you do me a big favor? There's somebody that we have to support because, interesting enough, did you know that this auditorium in 6 days has been filled 9 times? It's been that kind of 6 days at Neuqua Valley High School. And one of the really blessed things that we have at Neuqua Valley High School is we have these amazing student tech workers. Some of them are going to be honored tonight. But tonight is my first time riding with Bethany, who is up in the booth. So can we just support Bethany? For the first time she's running an event. Give her a little bit of love. And then could you also please give a big round of applause for these students who are assembled here with us. Tonight, my role is to welcome you to the Neuqua Honors. And Bethany, if you could go ahead and advance the slide, I'd appreciate it. I want to tell you a little bit about the order of our events this evening, and then also tell you just a little bit about where this honor came from and how we're honoring students. First, this evening, I will welcome you, and I'm going to explain a little bit about the Neuqua Honors. We're very lucky to have Dr. Kathy Burkett here with us, and I'd like to, in my remarks as well, introduce why we asked Dr. Burkett to come this evening. We will then go ahead and do the roll call and honor these fantastic students who are here with us, and then we'll ask Dr. Mark Holtman, one of our assistant principals, to close. I want to tell you a little bit about the Neuqua Honors, and you would be surprised that this night is actually 2 years in the making, and you might say, now, come on, Dr. McBride, how can it take you 2 years to come up with, an award ceremony? Are you kidding me? This was really born out of a couple of different efforts and a couple of different ideas. Every spring, we traditionally have gathered in our auditorium, and our spring awards have recognized something very, 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 very important, I believe, and that's the grade point average achievements of our students. But there was also a feeling among our faculty and staff that grade point tells us only part of the story. It tells us a very important part of the story about our students, just like their test scores. It doesn't tell a whole story. At the same time, we have something called our Building Equity Leadership Team. And our Building Equity Leadership Team is committed to inclusiveness and diversity in our school. And we mean diversity in the broadest type of way. When we say diversity, we mean diversity in everything you can imagine, from the ability students have or do not have. Are they new arrivals to this country or not new arrivals to this country? Are they academically diverse, economically diverse, ethnically diverse, racially diverse? We mean diversity in the broadest sense of the word. I think as a district, we're committed, as a school, we're committed to a big umbrella, and to challenge ourselves to make sure that we're looking deep at the students that we say we're going to bestow an honor on. Could you advance the slide, Bethany? So born out of those two efforts, a desire to think even deeper than grade point average, a desire to be inclusive and diverse, a group of people began working for 2 years. We have a committee. Some of my colleagues here were on it. We have a much larger equity committee, but within the equity committee, the Neuqua Honors Committee, Karen Calvert, who is up on stage here with me, Margaret Onken, who is ushering, John Gelsomino, who is on stage with me, Ms. Dipti Vaida, who is on stage with me, and then also the late Leslie Bauman was a driving force in this. And I want to come back to Ms. Bauman, who passed away a week ago today. Also, I'd really like to acknowledge many of the other people who are on our Building Equity Committee who are here tonight helping. Mark Kolkman, one of our assistant principals who's seated down here, Steve Jones, Pam Witt, Paul Vanderstein, Shar Hadley, Kevin Bullock, Joanne Wagner, Adrian O'Neill, Natalie Smith, Eric Mendoza, Stacy Welton, Pat Andreas, and Trudy Benorth. Could you give all of these people who have worked so hard on this a big round of applause? Coming back to the 2 years in the making, you might say, come on now. Well, there are a couple important things that I wanted to share with you about this award. The first important thing is the research. We did research last year. And what we decided to do is go out and look as a committee at universities across the country who had efforts on their campus to be inclusive, to be thorough, to be thoughtful about how they honored and awarded their students. And we looked from Harvard University to the University of Montana. And actually the categories that you'll learn about tonight really were born from many of the categories that we saw on university campuses across the nation that we felt were doing a very fine job at digging deep and honoring their students. At the same time, we had to come up with a method to bestow this honor. And what we really hope, you're here for the first time of this event. This is the first time we are doing the Neuqua Honors. And if it really was an honor that we feel and we hope is the most prestigious honor we can impose, we can give to students at our school, how do you pick them? And what we decided in the name of diversity is to go through a discernment process over the course of the year where both faculty and students would nominate these students. Many of the students said, I want to know who nominated me. I want to know who nominated me. I would be happy to help you. If you ever want to come to the main office, I'll get your name and I'll share with you your nomination. But I think it's worth a pause and worth a moment to understand that every single one of you is seated here because you're acknowledged by your teachers and the faculty here, but you're also acknowledged by your peers. Now, I don't know how my teacher colleagues feel. I know Dr. Burkett feels this way. I certainly feel this way. But when you're in a profession or when you're in a role, it is very meaningful when your peers acknowledge you. When your peers say, I see something in you that maybe others don't see. So I believe that this is a very important award in the sense that it is very egalitarian in that your fellow classmates see this in you, and your teachers and your guidance counselors and your social workers see these things in you. And that's really, really an amazing thing and an amazing place to arrive in life. We understand that at schools, you are not just building an academic transcript, right? Is there an adult here who was asked what your ACT score was this week? There is, okay. Is there an adult here who shared your high school transcript with somebody this week? Is there an adult here who brought somebody over to your house and showed you all the plaques and all the certificates you earned in high school? Maybe not, maybe. But I will tell you right now that much of your success, I think the adults would agree, and I would say this to our students, is built on the resume of relationships that these people have built in their lives. You have built, whether you're a senior, and we have seniors here, we have juniors here, we have sophomores here, and we have freshmen here. You have built an outstanding resume of relationships. So much so that in the categories for this award, safety and contribution and spirit and equity, your commitments are known near and far by many, many people who bothered to take the step to get online and write about you. And that's a huge thing. That's a prestigious thing. To be acknowledged by a group of people for your resume of relationships is an honor. It's an honor in life. And that's why we're here to bestow a Neuqua honor upon you this evening and acknowledge you. I want to make a mention just about a colleague of ours. If you were here yesterday evening, we had a memorial celebration for Ms. Leslie Bauman. She was an English teacher at our Gold Building. She taught here for 6 years. She fought an incredible, valiant battle against cancer, which I would say in the end of the day she won, although she passed away a week ago today. She won in the sense because she lived. How many of us could live with the vibrancy that she lived after getting a diagnosis like she got 6 years ago? But for my colleague sitting behind me, I mentioned in my remarks last night that February 10th was the last time I met face-to-face with Ms. Bauman, and it was after our final meeting to put together this award ceremony. The rest of it was just making it happen. And she was a driving force in this effort tonight. And so we've got a little bit of Leslie here. One of the awards we're going to name after her in perpetuity. We also have a couple floral arrangements this evening just to commemorate her and have her with us. These were here last night as part of the ceremony, so we feel like Leslie's here with us too. So could you give her just a big round of applause for her spirit? Yeah, she'll take a standing ovation. Yeah, she'll take a standing ovation. That's okay. That's all right. That's good stuff. Thanks. You should still stay standing, in my opinion, although she wouldn't take it. And you can sit down. I'm halfway joking with you. I felt it was incredibly important to ask Dr. Burkett to be with us tonight. How lucky was I, and we're not going to give you a plaque.
Don't stand up.
Don't stand up. Dr. Burkett's been very funny in her retirement that she does not want a plaque. But I think it's very important. It's important to me as well, because how lucky was I a number of years ago to meet Dr. Burkett at this very school. I interviewed actually to be an assistant principal, wasn't ready for the job, but started a professional relationship with Dr. Burkett, and when the time was right, I applied to be principal here at Neuqua Valley High School. She was misguided enough to encourage me and hire me, along with Dr. Stephen Dashner. And the reason why I'm saying I'm so lucky is because when you meet the person who is the founding principal of a school, who then has gone on in our district to lead us and be our superintendent, it is inevitable that the founding principles come with that person. You know, people come to Neuqua Valley High School and they're like, wow, this is beautiful, this is amazing, look at the wood, look at the brick, it's awesome. But they sometimes forget that there's a soul in this place. There's a soul in the people here. And I really, in my humble opinion, some of the things that we hold true in Wildcat pride and Wildcat spirit were built by Dr. Kathy Burkett. I mean, she gave the place the soul, she gave the place the seed to grow and be what it is. So I think it's so appropriate tonight that she's with us to add her remarks before we, acknowledge these fabulous students. Could you welcome Dr. Burkett with me? Thanks so much. Thank you.
Wow, what a great honor for me to be able to be here this evening. I know that Bob and I have had conversations. I know this has been in the works for a long time. And what I take a great deal of pride in, having opened this building, is this definitely fits with the Wildcat way. The way in which we do things as Wildcats. So what a fantastic group of students I stand before. I really feel humbled and I feel very honored to be here. It's now taking me 35 years to graduate. And as I get to the end of my career, and it's been a really blessed one, I more and more recognize how fortunate we are to have the young people that we work with in 204. I mean, we are truly blessed every day as we come to work. And for all of you to be recognized by your peers and to be recognized by staff, and that mixture is just phenomenal. I think it's absolutely marvelous. And you need to, a lot of us tend to be real humble about that and be a little shy about that. You need to feel really good about that. You need to, when you go home and you see brothers, sisters, next holiday you see aunts and uncles, let them know how great you are. Because you are. That's all right. There's a couple of things that I always like to remind people at moments like this, things that I think are really important. And again, this is just Kathy Burkett's opinion of what I think is really important as we move through life. But all of you have been extremely successful. And I think it's for a variety of reasons. Some of that may be passion that you bring, that you're truly passionate about things. Find things that you are passionate about, whether it's an extracurricular, whether it's something in the classroom. But I think that is so very, very important for you as students. I am betting that some of you are sitting here because of kindness. Some of you are sitting here because you get it. That we're all part of one great global world, and we need to be kind and considerate and recognize each other and non-judgmental. And that is a really hard lesson at high school. I get it. Having been a high school principal, I understand that. But some of you are wiser than your years, and that you get that. I think it's respect, that you respect the staff that works with you, that works very hard. You will not love every one of them, but you will respect them. And I think that's extremely important and will serve you well when you leave school. Extremely important. And just some positivity. I think that people want to be around people that are positive, that have something positive to say. And I think that's so very, very valuable and very much appreciated in so many of you. You know, I just did one of those NCTV interviews. And God help all of you, because any of you that get NCTV, it'll probably run 2 million times. Please turn it off. It's not that fascinating. But they asked me to do this, people you should know interview. I just did it last week, and one of the questions was very pointed about this generation. What do you think about this generation? So many, we read so much, and, they're selfish, and they're this and they're that. And here's what I'm going to tell you. And each parent in this room, you know your own. You know their group of friends. But I will tell you from somebody who has the opportunity to see 29,000 of them on a regular basis in this district, this is a great generation. This is a fantastic group of people. They are so much more open. They teach me every day. They get it that we are a global society, and that is so very, very important, and I so appreciate that in each of you every day. Parents, if I were hearing what Bob McBride just shared, and you heard how your son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter, whatever your relationship is to this individual, and you heard that about them, I would be swelling up, because that's pretty big. And they didn't just fall off the tree somewhere. That is because of what you have done in all the relationships that have nurtured them to get to this point. So I thank you for that. I thank you very much for that. And you should thank them for that as you're driving home in the car. Please give your parents a round of applause, and everybody who has influenced you. With that, I learned a long time ago that nobody comes to these things to listen to the superintendent drone on and on. I'm not that fascinating. So with that, what I will say is congratulations to all of you, particularly congratulations to you. And I'm very, very proud to see this now be the next step for the Wildcats. Go Wildcats. Thanks.
Our ceremony is simple. In a few minutes, I'm going to have my colleague Karen Calvert will come up here. And I would really ask you to take a look at each of these categories, because in them I found, working on this, there are words that we don't use all that often. Student growth is our first category. And in a moment, I'll ask all the students who won the Student Growth Award, when I tell you to line up. And Dr. Burkett and I will congratulate you. What we'd ask the students is you'll come on up, and after you're done, the whole ceremony is done, is if you could return to the table that you checked in, you'll find your certificate there. But all the students here who have been assembled who have student growth have something special about them, because they started in one place and they were comeback artists in a variety of different ways, all the way up to safety. You might ask, why would you have a safety award? Is that like safety patrol? When I was in high school, those were the kids, they had the funny lanyard, they were standing there making sure, nobody got... There are actually kids that make this a kinder place, a safer place, a place where bullying isn't tolerated. That's not unimportant. Those people keep us safe, keep me safe in my home, because they're committed to a more civil society and a better society. So I really would invite you, as you see the actual categories, to really think deeply about them and what these students have accomplished. So let's do this, roll call. Let's acknowledge these students. I'm going to have Karen Calvert come up, and she's going to tell you a little bit about the Student Growth Award. Can I have all the students who won the Student Growth Award, if you could stand up, please, and head on over here. Ms. Onken has some remarks for you. She's going to tell you how to get lined up. And Ms. Calvert.
The Neuqua Valley Student Growth Award goes to a student who demonstrates perseverance and resilience in the face of adversity, be it personal or academic, and shows marked educational growth and discernible maturation. I'm pleased to announce the recipients of the Neuqua Valley Student Growth Award. If you would please hold your applause until we're done with all of the names. And students, if you could stand on stage until we're all done so we can recognize you all together. Thank you. Christopher Som. Omar Mejio. Timothy Grobe. Zach Harvey. Joseph Lincoln. Ellen Podesnak. Hannah Ashby. Austin Rupert. Jennifer Finelli. Joey Traverso. Amy Blankova. Emily Gozen. Toby Anyagbunem. China Brown. Emily Neer. Erica Hegland. Lindsay Russell. Kevin Hill. Nick Edkins. Carly Sellers. Jack Boyle. Margot Wagner. Mavish Khan. Katie Tampoulis. Bailey Brash. Iris Calderon. Elizabeth Fitzgerald. Jessica Lindblom. Claire Dietz. Stephanie Kolzicki. Abdil Mendez Munoz. Nicholas Tucker. Will you please join me in congratulating all of the recipients? Students, you can return to your seats. If you are receiving the Leadership Award, if you could please stand and line up off to the side. And I'd like to introduce Mr. John Gelsomino to present that award.
The Neuqua Valley Leadership Award is given in recognition of an individual who motivates and inspires those around them to contribute towards the achievement of a goal. This leader displays dedication and commitment to Neuqua Valley High School, sets high standards of integrity by leading through example, and maintains high personal standards. Natasha Nath. Nectaria Barakis. Sajal Parmer. Margaret Blackledge. Jordan Beck. Nicholas Adams. Drew Dvorak. Madison Kemmerly. Deja Jones. Olivia Gronenthal. Megan Gunderson. Jacqueline Keschner. Jack Williams. Michael Corradini. Dylan Power. Jeremy Stern. Taylor Sparbani. Sarah Green. Kelsey Wall. Colin Kelp. Morgan Miller. Isabel Glimko. Caitlin Casey. Eleanor Cahill. Mariana Camo. Joey Tompolis. Mallory Ishman. Noel Meany. Jennifer Cha. Sarav Patnaik. Andrew Heitzman. Christina Matthew. Pamela Orozco. Demond George. Anish Agarwal. Brock Rudder. Nicholas Karachi. Lexi Ann Sanders. Catherine Speckles. Suad Hamdan. Ngazi Chukwu Iba. Alexandria McGuire. Please give a round of applause to the nominees for leadership. 'To present our service awards, please welcome Mrs. Dipti Vaida. I think they're on. They already are. So. Is that what you guys are?
How is it going? Everybody's pumped up? Yeah. We are very excited to have these awards, and I'm supposed to announce the service awards, the Neuqua Valley Service Awards. And this award honors a student who has demonstrated a consistent level of service to the school and the community. The award recipient displays a high level of integrity, energy, and selflessness with a strong commitment to support programs that benefit the welfare of others. Yes, there you are. Melanie Gooder. Simran Sahu. Annie Bowie. Morgan Patton. Emma Behek. Christine Ramirez. Kelly Evak. Pallavi Sarup. Avery Stevenson. Lucy Chen. Vincent Hale. Joseph Fabricaras. Leva Sarnevichiuti. Alexandra Dreschler. Thanks. Zoya Shams. Marody Yatnieks. Jeanette Cicchini. Thanks. Thank you. Sydney Salinas. Brooke Kuzniewicz. James Hiller. Joseph Giglio. Bart Vittori. Alicia Vishnal. And you, yes. Tami Kenny. Sarah Kun. Josie Runt. And here we have the winners, so please. You can go down and take your seats, and the civic awards people can line up. Civic awards. And I can hand the mic back to Ms. Calvert. There you go.
The Neuqua Valley Civics Award honors the Neuqua Valley student who takes exemplary steps in becoming an informed and engaged citizen. This student exercises his or her civic rights and responsibilities by influencing and motivating change at the classroom, school, district, community, national, and/or global level. Following students are receiving the Neuqua Valley Civics Award. Fahad Khan. Ethan Koska. Matthew Livingston. Chibuike Wachiku. Carmen Crusoe. Daniel Malloy. Connor Haga. Minu Pichia. Nora Samani. Congratulations to our Civics Award recipients. You may take your seats. Would the students receiving the Equity Award please stand? And I will hand the mic back to Mr. Gelsomino.
The Neuqua Valley Equity Award honors a student who has demonstrated actions to advance equity and inclusion. This student is committed to school-wide diversity and has furthered efforts to promote respect in our entire community. And they are. Christina Paola. Liam Miza. Caitlin Agan. Madison Lee. Bradley Boudreau. Nicholas Gilmore. Amanda Cox. Anna Marie Matthew. I should get this one. Scott Strom. Rylan Martin. Rachel Raymond. Michaela Odom. Thomas Scruggs. Pragya Maheshwari. Kellen Frank. Gabriel Oxner. Vishal Nagasundaram. Ria Elizabeth Neenan. Mina Sharma. Darlene Okafor. DJ Reyes. Akil Shavan. Michael Geary. Anders Nelson. Ryan Waldinger. Rachel O'Beary. Nikita Patel. Kaylin Stewart. Godfrey Collins. Ladies and gentlemen, the nominees for equity. If you are nominated for the Spirit Award, please line up. And to present the Spirit Award, back to Mrs. Dipti Vaidya.
The Spirit Awards is the Leslie Berman Spirit Award, This award honors the memory of English teacher Leslie Bauman. Mr. McBride already talked about her. And the NVHS community member whose participation in a variety of events lifts school spirits by encouraging others to be enthusiastically engaged. Contagious energy, good sportsman spirit, and the wildcat allegiance are the key characteristics of this recipient. And here they come. Timothy Costigan. Mackenzie Kiley. Jacob Alexander. Christopher Finch. Katie Mullen. And Dana Mullen, of course. Mary Margaret Shia. Katrina Gerber. Olivia Smith. Rebecca Rosewinkle. Matthew Patterman. Amrit Maan. John Hederman. Anne Marie Gilbert. Kristen Eichamer. Terence Jenkins. Lawrence Jenkins. Janelle Finch. Alexa Nicole Williams. Michael DeVakis. Brooke Meyer. Gina Nguyen. Sean Luke. Zachary Dupre. Mallory French. Isaac Lee. Jackson Modaf. Bryce Menendez. Austin O'Malley. Reed Anderson. Navneet Ishwar. Brian Podolak. Laura Mitchell. And we have the winners. You can take your seats. And the students for the contribution to Neuqua Award, please line up. I will hand the mic back to Ms. Calvert. Mrs. Calvert. She was so pretty, it's okay. There you go.
The Neuqua Valley Contributions Award goes to a student who has been involved giving time and talents unselfishly to our school, Neuqua Valley High School. This can be in any area of the school, from academics to athletics to music. And the recipients are Rachel Goodman, Evangelia Kukuras, Liam Burns, Aaron Gadula, Caitlin Haas, Bradley Fossler, Nicholas Hudson, Keenan Daly, William Ackerman, Yoshim Govender, Jack Baudouin, Dylan Tartaglia, Rebecca Covington, Megan Lashak, Nicole Walsh, Drew Welsh, Brianna Mitri, Charlotte Fletcher, Spencer Hua, Ezgi Olger, Caitlin Peeler, Roland Dugard, Nora Maxwell, Angela Shu, Natalie Kolzicki, Mary Tate, Brian David, congratulations to these students for their contributions to Neuqua. You can head back to your seats. Our final award is the Safety Award. So if you're receiving the Safety Award, you can stand and line up. And Mr. Gelsomino will be back to announce.
The Neuqua Valley Safety Award honors an NVHS student who has demonstrated specific actions to promote the safety and well-being of students and staff. Through actions, this student has demonstrated the importance and concern to promote a safe and orderly environment. Through leadership and action, the student has furthered NVHS efforts towards a safe and friendly environment for all Neuqua students and staff. Isabella Seberg. Jennifer Ferguson. Samuel Washington. Broderick Huffman. Madeline Reynolds. Megan Patterson. Yeon Lee. Alexander Harris. Ariana DiBernardo. Quinn Brewer. Emma Novotny. Anruda Silverman. Scott Swanson. Casey Bruckner. The nominees for the Safety Award. And with some closing remarks to conclude our evening, let me introduce our Assistant Principal for Student Services, Dr. Mark Kolkman.
Thank you, Mr. Gelsomino, and thanks to each of you for coming tonight. I'd like to kind of close tonight's evening with some remarks to wrap up, but also to set the tone for our future nominees. Although tonight is our inaugural Neuqua Honors Ceremony, I'm reminded of the words of Scottish author Samuel Smiles and the words that he wrote over 100 years ago. The battle of life is, in most cases, fought uphill, and to win it without struggle is perhaps to win it without honor. If there are no difficulties, there would be no success. If there were nothing to struggle for, there would be nothing to be achieved. What some people don't know about Samuel Smiles' story is that at the age of 61, he suffered a debilitating stroke that required a long period of recovery in which he had to relearn how to walk, write, and to read. But over the next 25 years of his life, he went on to write many books, such as the topics of duty, character, thrift, and honor. Samuel Smiles became what some people call the self-help authority of the early 20th century by merely suggesting that the only battle in life worth fighting is the battle to achieve honor by simply adding value to others. Tonight, we gave special rank and distinction to 229 Neuqua Valley students who have, in their own way, added unique value to others. Some overcame their own obstacles on their path to personal growth. Others regularly displayed leadership and service and made a contribution to the spirit and climate of Neuqua Valley. Tonight, we heard the story of a few students beyond their GPA. We heard of the broadest sense of diversity and equity and inclusiveness. We heard that success and honor is built on the resume of relationships. We heard that it's important to advance equity and inclusion. We heard that it's important to be a comeback artist, to persevere, to be resilient, to make this a safer place in whatever place you happen to be. We heard about motivation and inspiration and dedication and commitment. We heard about energy and integrity and selflessness. We heard about those students, and we met students who have influenced change. We have met students, these students, who have influenced each other and left a better spirit because of their work. Tonight we heard about student growth, leadership, service, and civics, equity and spirit, contributions to the school, and to safety. We heard impressive things. So the challenge to each and every one of us, the students and the adults alike, is to go out and replicate these things, ingrain these things so that this ceremony becomes not only the inaugural, but subsequent years where we can honor the same things that improve our school and improve our community. As we dismiss this evening, I'd like to speak directly to our students and thank you for your contributions. We appreciate the value that you've added to our school, and we appreciate and admire the things that you mean to one another. It is great to sit in the audience and see things being recognized that cause you to smile, because you know how much that means to you. And to that, we say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you. Just a little bit of organizational housekeeping as we bring this evening to close. As we dismiss this evening, I'd like to ask our family and guests on the wings and in the balcony to please stay seated and allow our honorees to exit the auditorium first. Students, if you would, please then proceed out of the auditorium, because there's more to this tonight's evening than just a blank folder. We'd like you to return to the tables in which you checked in at earlier this evening and receive your certificate of honor. Then I'd invite everyone to either reunite here in the auditorium or in the auditorium lobby, where you see our Neuqua Valley backdrop, our photo op backdrop, where you can stay for pictures and mingle and have informal fellowship together. Once again, thanks for everyone for being here, and congratulations to all of our honorees.